E, your sandy foundation is crumbling. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Barak Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is E, your foundation is crumbling. And pretty much I was reading through the New Testament and Antiquity, that book I told you brothers about. And I came across Herod the Great, and I started reading a little bit about it. And as soon as I started reading, something just jumped right out at me, which I want to address. You know, this is why it's called E, your foundation is being, I forget exactly what I just named it, but you know, you see the title, that their foundation pretty much is crumbling. And this is on page 37 of this book, still in the first chapter, you know, but it's addressed Herod the Great. Then it says 37 to 4 BC. That's when he ruled, from about 37 BC to about 4 BC. And Herod the Great, who was married to a Hasmonean princess, Miriam, you know, their children came out, you know, dark or brown skin, you know, and Herod's mother herself, who was Antipater the Idumean's wife, was named Cypros, 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 which was a Nabataean princess. You know, she was like a Nabataean noblewoman. All right, and we're gonna deal with, you know, the whole Nabataean issue, because when we read in Genesis 25 and 25, right, it says, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Now, when you look up the name Esau, these devils break it down wrong. You have the word Aishah or Aishashwa. It should really be, the whole word is Aishashwa. All right, the Aishash is wasted, and the wa at the end is he. Aishashwa, wasted is he, which they have here for Esau, meaning hairy. It does not mean hairy. It basically means wasted away is he. All right. Then it says here, eldest son of Isaac and Rebekah, and twin brother of Jacob, sold the birthright for food when he was hungry, and the divine blessing went to Jacob. Then it says here, progenitor, which is father of the Arab peoples, which is a damn lie. But they threw that in there on purpose to throw people off that are starting to do some research. All right, now I want to show you something, but just bear with me real quick so I can get another verse here before we go into it. This right here is out of page 37 of the book I was telling you about, the New Testament in Antiquity. And it says, Herod the Great, 37 to 4 BC. Herod ruled for 33 years and became expert at placating Roman interests in the region while keeping his Jewish province intact and prosperous. Yeah, when you know about the history, you know, him and his father did a lot of underhanded shit, especially his father, you know, to win political influence from the Romans. And they placed him over certain, you know, high positions over Jake, and he in turn passed that off to his sons, meaning Antipater the Idumean. And his sons took over, and they pretty much, you know, assimilated those positions of dignity, but Jake never gave them their blessing, because they always knew that he was a fake, he was a phony, you know, that he wasn't an Israelite, you know, he was an Idumean, and they knew this. And John Hyrcanus the first, which was the one that converted them to so-called Judaism, you know, that didn't mean shit. You know, they just had to follow our ways, but they were never Israelites. That didn't make them Israelites. But what I found interesting here is, as you read on, it says, he built a series of fortresses around Judea, which accurately show his political concerns and vulnerabilities, right? Because he pretty much was doing that to win, you know, favor with the Roman Senate, you know, with the Romans in general, so that they can put him, you know, he could continue to cement his power of authority and his influence over Israel by way of the Romans. But this is the point. It says all risks were to the east and south. The Parthians might return through Syria. Listen good to this. The independent Arab Nabataeans Nabataean kingdom was just across the Dead Sea. So the point here was what? That the so-called Nabataeans or the Nabataean kingdom was an independent Arab peoples. But we just read for Esau, when you look up Esau, that's the progenitor of the so-called Arab people, that the Edomites are the progenitors of the Arab people. No, you're wrong. Dead wrong. All right, so now what I also did was I typed in on Google just to see what will come up, what nationality are the Nabataeans. So here it says, this is on Wikipedia. You could type this in yourself. Go to Wikipedia, type in Nabataeans. If you don't know how to spell it, it's Nabataea. So like a Nabataeans. All right. It says the Nabataeans or Nabataeans were an ancient Arab people who inhabited North Arabia of the southern Levant. Their settlements, most prominently the assumed capital city of Rakhmo, present-day Petra, Jordan, gave the name Nabataean, ancient Greek Nabataean or Rakhmo, present-day Petra, Jordan. Gave the name Nabataean, so on and so forth, because it continues on to go on and on and on, right? The Nabataeans emerged as a distinct civilization and political entity between the 4th and 2nd centuries BCE, with their kingdom centered around a loosely controlled trading network that brought considerable wealth and influence across the ancient world. And they were saying that these were, that the Nabataeans were bad as hell, Now, when we jump down to, what is it? Just bear with me 1 second till I find it. Okay, identity. Could jump down to identity. It says some scholars have identified the people named Nabataea in Neo-Assyrian Akkadian records and Nabayot in the Hebrew Bible based off the similarities of the names with Nabatu, which is the Arabic name of the Nabataeans. All right. Now let's stop there right quick, because Nabayot, or goes back to Nabayot or Nabajaf, which is who? That would happen to be one of the sons of Ishmael. Genesis 25:13, and these are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nabajaf. We go and we check out the name Nabajaf. Now you have the yaysayers and naysayers, and they're saying based off of the similarities in the spelling or the similarity in the spelling that happens to be the Nabataean people. Whether or not it is, we'll find out. But the word Nabajaf goes back to the Hebrew Nabayawath, Nabajath or Nabajath, Heights, a son of Ishmael, people descending from one called the Nabataeans with their capital at Petra. All right, so we know definitely that the Nabataeans, whether they descend from Nabajath or not, that they are an Arab people. They are not Edomites, okay? And if they are the descendants of Nabajath, that even cements it even more, all right? Because when you go back to the Wikipedia under the identity, it says the scholar Israel F. Al has rejected this identification because of the use of a tau in the Akkadian and Hebrew forms, while the Arabic form uses a tet, and because the former forms possess a yad, which is absent from the Arabic form, and attested by the discovery of a Taymanitic inscription in the Jabal Gunam, which records the name of the Nabayataya as NBYT. Then it goes on to say the scholar Edward Lipinski has, however, refuted this rejection by demonstrating that these various forms of the name were derived from an original form Naba'atu, from which the glottal stop was replaced by a palatal approximant, hence producing the Akkadian and Hebrew forms Nabayataya and Nabayot, while omission of the glottal stop produced the Arabic form Nabatu. So whether or not it's really the Nabajoth and the Nabataean people are actually the same people, we know they descended from Ishmael, period. Now, when you look up the name Ishmael, to show you how these devils, they just throw stuff up, and if you don't study, if you don't look things up, you're going to be confused. Now, here for the name Ishmael, right? When you go there to the name Ishmael, they're giving you his genealogy, or not his genealogy, the sons that he had. The word Ishmael, God will hear, Yashemai Allah, or the power has heard, right? And it goes on, it gives you a lot of different, definitions of it. Where is that at? Just bear with me a second. Right, the first one is son of Abraham and Sarah's handmaid Hagar, and the progenitor of the Arabian peoples. So if he's the progenitor of the Arabian people, how can Esau be the progenitor of the Arabian people? See the confusion there? These devils do that on purpose. So let's see what else we got. That's it on that. That's it on that. Let's see. So let's read that again. It says, the independent Arab Nabataean kingdom was just across the Dead Sea. That's from the same book I was telling you about. And Cleopatra in Egypt had already gained ownership of Jericho, as well as Phoenicia and parts of Arabia. Herod felt additional vulnerabilities as an outsider with the Hasmonean families of Jerusalem. Most viewed him as a half Jewish, which he wasn't. He didn't have an ounce of Israelite blood in him. His father was an Edomite. His mother was a Nabataean. She was an Arab. She's an Arab, Richard. Since his mother was Arab, there you go again. Gives you some quotations from the Josephus. He, meaning Herod, married one of the Hasmonean daughters, Miriam. Right. So his father married an Nabataean noblewoman of royal family, and Herod, his son, who took over as king of Israel, he married into nobility Miriam, which was a Hasmonean princess. Okay, and that's how he was able to get all of these influences and favors to be put into these high positions. All right, it says, hoping to shore up his connections, but throughout his life he was always viewed as an interloper. Now, what is an interloper? An interloper is a person who becomes involved in a place or situation where they are not wanted or are considered not to belong. Because they don't belong there, they are not Israelites. And they will be removed out of that position of being called Israelites. See, Herod, him, his family, they all died, were born and died saying that they were, quote unquote, Jew you wish, But come to find out years later that they weren't, even though they knew back then, but that history was lost until, whenever it resurfaced. Now we know that they were really Edomites that got converted by John Hyrcanus I, which was rough. Now, John Hyrcanus II was a pushover. He was a puppet that Antipater pretty much had as a puppet. The Idumi, he had him as a puppet. John Hyrcanus II, but the first one was rough. He's the one that forcibly converted them. All right? You have to do the research yourself. It's very easy to find. It says, well connected to Rome, but tenuously supported by leading Jewish families. He felt so suspicious about these families that he arranged to have two of his sons by Miriam killed by accident. Altogether, he executed 45 Hasmoneans fearing conspiracies. Yeah. So he ended up killing 45, of the Hasmonean um, inheritors to the throne. So this dude was a straight up murderer. He was just killing every goddamn body. All right. And just to show you that these devils don't belong there, that's why at the end of this whole thing, these devils would be exposed. And that's what we see happening right now. Let's go real quick to 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And I'll probably just end it after that. Just wanted to bring out that info. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed. And they're being revealed right now. What does the word reveal mean? It means to peel back the veil. So the veil is being peeled back and they're being revealed. Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. What is the spirit of the Lord's mouth? This Bible, this word, which the Lord puts it into the prophets to speak. So the mouth of the Most High is the prophets. And the prophets are using words of the Heavenly Father to condemn these devils and to reveal them. And after they get revealed and sentenced, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, because that's what's going to happen. The Lord is going to come back. This fire that the Bible speaks about, where the second judgment is coming from, is going to be by way of thermonuclear destruction and the lasers from the chariots, but mainly from the missiles, because the missiles are going to cause the greatest devastation. The chariots are just going to bring more fire, because the Lord said, he already said, Yahushua said, I am come to send fire on earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? So he's going to just bring more fire. Right? It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, without signs, without power and signs and lying wonders. And that's what they've done. And everything that they do is all by lying wonders. I'm going to get the precept the brother just put up. Let me see what he got it in the KJV and the NLT. Let me see if I can grab that real quick. Let's see. Hosea chapter 12. I believe it was verse 10. It says, I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. That's right. He had put up the NLT, so let me see what the NLT says. I sent my prophets to warn you with many visions and parables. I believe that was the 12 and 10. Yep, that was it. Let me see. Luke 12 and 2. Just get that one, and then, like I said, we could close after that. Luke chapter 12 and 2 in the NLT he has. Oh yeah, this is the regular KJV. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. And in the NLT it says, the time is coming when everything that is covered up will be revealed, and all that is secret will be made known to all. Right, and that goes hand in hand with Isaiah chapter 25 verse 7, and it says, and he, meaning the Most High, will destroy in this mountain in America the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. And how is that being done? By the truth of these scriptures and by the prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So I just wanted to show you that Esau's foundation of sand is crumbling, because all the information is out there. All you got to do is just put in the work. Pray to the Lord, put in the work. You'll be able to find it if the Spirit is with you. Otherwise, you're going to get confused and caught up. You see how you got all kind of pitfalls, going on, throughout, even when you read the Blue Letter, when you read different sources out there, there's so much disinformation out there that is hard to decipher, and especially in these times. But, if you have a strong foundation, you'll be able to navigate through all of those hurdles and not get caught up in them. So I just wanted to show you how how this book said that the Nabataeans were an Arab people. When you type in on Google who are the Nabataean people, they'll tell you they were Arabs. They're saying that the Nabataeans were the descendants of Nabataeans, which, I mean, if I find any more information on it, we can go into it, but as of right now, like I said, I just, that was actually it's the first time I heard that they were descendants of the Nabataeans, even though I knew that they were Ishmaelites, and Nabataeans is the firstborn of Ishmael. It makes all the sense in the world, So with that, I pray that your brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till the next time I say Shalom.